As a designer, I've always been really fascinated by boats. I think because function is absolutely essential, but at the same time, they're some of the most beautiful objects I think that people have ever designed. I never really knew that it would become my actual job or a company.
To me, kayaking has been a huge part of my life. The times that I'm happiest in a kayak are when I'm in the surf. The experience of being in the water, sort of pursuing it to the highest level I possibly could. So for me, I think that's kayaking.
For me, in any kayak actually, was in one of these kayaks. So I'm like, okay, just relax, everything's gonna be okay. And I just sat there about 20 yards off the shore and just looking at the Golden Gate Bridge with the fog coming through and seeing the water underneath because it's translucent. Just sitting there, it's like, wow, this is an amazing feeling. And this is what I had to do. I had to bring this product to the market.
Oru Kayak started several years ago. When I moved to the Bay Area, I got a kayak and I always loved paddling around the bay. I always thought it was this amazing, underappreciated body of water right in the middle of the city. But eventually I moved into a studio apartment in San Francisco and I had to put my kayak in storage. And at about the same time I read this magazine article on origami, really amazing things with folded paper and other things that folded up. So that just got me thinking, could there be a way to make a kayak that actually folded up just like a piece of paper? I'm a designer, I'm good at designing things, but there are many other aspects of running a business that I'm maybe not so good at.
So I met Anton through my programs, graduating from my MBA program. And he reached out to our school. He was looking for a partner to do operations, manufacturing, and marketing. We would get to know each other and to see how our relationship is, because starting something from scratch, usually you spend a lot of time together.
We always knew that starting a company like this was going to take some money. In a way, we had very good timing because that was when Kickstarter was just starting to really come into its own, this new model of crowdfunding. Artie and I launched our Kickstarter campaign for Oru Kayak in late 2012, and as part of our campaign we did a number of demos where people could try out the kayaks in water around the Bay Area. At one of these demos, this guy showed up who said, I used to be a professional sponsored kayaker, and if you guys need any product testing, I'd love to get involved. That was Roberto, who's now our Chief Commercial Officer. So he started out with testing our products, taking them out in the ocean and the waves, trying to break them, and he ended up doing all kinds of other stuff for us too.
When I first met Anton and Artie, I was brought on primarily to product test. So I used to be a sponsored kayaker, had a lot of experience in the paddling industry. I think the biggest issue or biggest challenge was understanding the consumer. We did push the boat to its extremes, but those aren't things that your consumers do. The average paddler was finding issues that we weren't finding because we were using the boat differently. It was an interesting turning point to really look at the boat in a way that people were going to be using it rather than looking at it in an extreme manner.
After meeting Roberto, we were a team of 3. We had a product, we had a couple other accessories, and we were on to our next product. 6 months later, after we started shipping, we had the opportunity to be on Shark Tank. So that's when we shot our first Shark Tank episode.
There was a lot of preparation for Shark Tank. I think that was one of the most valuable things about the whole process. It just really forces you to get everything in a row, both in terms of the fundamentals of your business and even just how you talk about it and how you communicate it.
We really love your enthusiasm, and we've always wanted to have people involved who really understand the design. We'd love to have you, and we are.
Our biggest challenge at the time was really in terms of manufacturing. We weren't building a lot of kayaks per day, and they were costing us a lot of money. So we've worked really hard in the past year and a half to make both of those things better.
Building a factory line was something that I didn't have experience in. For us to learn all the steps, all the due diligence that you have to go through to make something to a mass production product was a very interesting challenge.
And it's really hard to find a good solution quickly. There are a lot of options in some cases, and in some cases there are none. The things you can't control, the things that you don't know.
For example, each boat has about 600 parts. How are we going to start the assembly process? Who's going to do what? How many people we need? And negotiating all these things with our contract manufacturer. It was hard, but it was awesome.
For a long time, we were essentially a 3-person operation with Roberto and Artie and myself. We all did all kinds of crazy things, and stayed up all night, and pretty much everyone did everything to some degree.
But we all after the same goal, and just to change the way people experience the outdoors. By having different angles, different personalities, you challenge one another to bring the best out of one another in order to have an awesome product, an awesome company. That just like trims it off.
Oh, but that's the way we have all the other parts that cut people sometimes.
Right.
You're
I mean,
wondering
if it's
there's
already
like an automatic way, right?
yeah, like if it's already in whatever the thermoforming machine is, like if there's already heat there, can it soften this edge with heat?
All that stuff over there.
Yeah, okay, some notes on. Okay. Eliminate questions, but yeah, I agree.
The startup phase is really fun. Every day is something new. I've not been here before, and I love that. It's such a wild ride. That it's hard to beat.
So since then, we've been growing. We're 8 people now in our office, and we've specialized much more in our roles. Which, you know, it's occasionally I miss parts of it, but it's also great to be able to focus on what you love doing and what you're actually good at, rather than trying to cover some base that doesn't come naturally to you.
Oh, we always needed a bigger team. We had friends and family helping out. They would want to learn about the product and talk with us, and as they did so, they would take it upon themselves to help share, which was awesome. You can now go anywhere, check it on a plane, put it in the backpack, go up the coast, go up into the headlands or something, and really explore.
If you have a bicycle, why not? You can be a proud owner of boats too. We could become the bicycle for the ocean, and that's what we're here to change.
To me, Oru Kayak is really about exploration, being able to go out and explore the outdoors wherever you are. But for me personally, because it's been such a personal process of exploration, of just starting with this crazy idea and having it turn into an obsession, and just kind of being able to push it and explore it for years to just see where it could go.